Be happy having all of your personal information stored in one place. Passport, licence, bills, banking, the lot.
So we're changing the law so that next Christmas, young people will have their ID on their phone. So they won't have all of the hassle of needing to get ID or leaving their ID at home or their paper ID getting lost or damaged. So it means that giving your ID is safer than it's ever been before.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your phone to check your bank balance and finding nothing. Zero. Your life savings. The money you've been putting away for a house deposit, gone. Your business account, the one you use to pay your employees and suppliers, vanished. The app won't even let you log in. It just gives you a cold, generic error message. You try calling the bank, but the line is dead. You race down to the local branch, only to find a queue of hundreds of other panicked people, all locked out of their own money, their faces a mixture of confusion and pure terror. Sounds like a nightmare, right? A scene from some dystopian Hollywood blockbuster. Well, on the 1st of September this year, this nightmare became a reality for tens of millions of people in Vietnam. In a single day, a staggering 86 million bank accounts were wiped out. Not hacked, not stolen, deleted. By the government, by the banks they were forced to trust. And the reason? They hadn't signed up for the new mandatory biometric digital ID. No scan, no cash, no compliance, no access. And if you think this is just some crazy story from a faraway communist country that could never happen here in Australia, you're in for a rude shock. Because what just happened in Vietnam isn't a one-off. It's a test run, a blueprint, and Australia is next on the list. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is a documented, unfolding agenda. And in this video, we're going to connect the dots. We'll show you exactly what happened in Vietnam, how the UK just announced an almost identical plan, and how the Australian government has been quietly building the exact same digital cage for all of us right under our noses. But before we pull back the curtain on this global power grab, I need to ask you a quick favour. The stories we cover, the ones about government overreach, the erosion of our freedoms, the things the mainstream media is too scared or too compromised to touch, they are not popular with the powers that be. We are 100% viewer funded. We are the resistance, and our only backers are you. If you believe in what we do, if you want us to keep exposing the truth and fighting back against the corruption, please consider joining our Patreon. It's the only thing that keeps this channel alive. The link is in the description. Every single dollar is a bullet in the gun of truth.
Consider joining a bank. Most of us go with one of the big four because we trust them with our hard-earned money.
All right, let's start with what went down in Vietnam. The official story, the one the government and the banks are spinning, is that this was all about preventing fraud. And to be fair, they had a decent excuse lined up. They'd seen a rise in sophisticated AI-powered scams. In May, police busted a massive money laundering ring that used fake facial scans to launder over $1 trillion Vietnamese dong. That's about 39 million US dollars. So the government stepped in looking like the hero and rolled out a new rule. Every single bank transaction over about 400 Australian dollars would require a facial biometric scan. To make this happen, every citizen had to link their bank account to a new national digital ID. The deadline was September 1st, 2025, and they weren't mucking around. If you didn't comply, your account was gone. And that's exactly what happened. 86 million accounts, poof, into thin air. Now, the government's apologists will tell you, oh, it was mostly inactive accounts or accounts held by foreigners who'd left the country. And yes, that's part of the story, but it's a convenient excuse that deliberately misses the terrifying point. Think about the precedent this sets. The government now has a switch, a kill switch for your financial life. Don't do what we say? Flick no more money for you. We saw reports of a former foreign contractor who had to physically fly back to Vietnam just to access his own funds because there was no way to verify his identity remotely. This isn't about convenience, it's about control. It's about making every single person's ability to participate in the economy conditional on their obedience to the state. They're training the population. They're making digital compliance a condition of economic survival. They're creating a system where the state has the ultimate power to include you in or exclude you from society itself. And they got away with it. There was no mass uprising, no global outcry, just a quiet, chilling demonstration of absolute power. And you can bet your bottom dollar that other governments were watching very closely, taking notes. And we didn't have to wait long to see who was next. On September 26th, just a few weeks after the Vietnam account purge, the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer stood up and announced a new national digital ID for the United Kingdom, dubbed the Brit Card.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament.
And what are the features of this wonderful new card? It's a free digital ID for all UK citizens and legal residents. It will have your name, your date of birth, your residency status, and of course, your photo for biometric security. And here's the kicker. It will be mandatory for anyone who wants to work in the UK. No Brit card, no job. Sound familiar? The public backlash was immediate. A petition to scrap the plan gathered over 2.8 million signatures. People can see the writing on the wall, but the government is pushing ahead anyway, proving that public consent is no longer a factor in their decision-making. The justification is the same old story. Cracking down on illegal immigration, streamlining services, preventing fraud. They even had the gall to cite other countries as successful models. And which country was at the top of their list? You guessed it. Australia. That's right. The UK government is literally pointing to Australia as the blueprint for its own digital ID scheme. The dominoes are falling, and they're falling in our direction. Vietnam was the test, the UK is the next phase, and Australia? Well, Australia's already halfway there. We've just been too busy, too distracted to notice the cage being built around us. Most Australians have no idea that the Digital ID Act of 2024 has already passed. It commenced on December 1st last year.
The Labor government introduced legislation for a digital ID into the Senate last year, and curiously, it was passed without any debate being allowed, which should be a warning sign.
While you were getting ready for Christmas, the government was putting the final bolts on our digital prison. They've been rolling it out slowly, quietly, using the classic boiling frog technique. It started with things that sound reasonable, like the My ID app to access government services like Centrelink or the ATO. It's just for convenience, they said. It's voluntary, they promised. But then in June of this year, the eSafety Commissioner, a woman with the power of a digital god, brought in new codes. Suddenly, search engines like Google were required to have age assurance measures for all accounts. If they think you're under 18, your search results are automatically filtered. How do they know your age? By looking at your account history, your device usage, and increasingly by demanding you prove it with, you guessed it, a digital ID. And it's not just search engines. The plan is to roll this out to social media, app stores, AI, chatbots, even messaging apps. Any service that hosts content the government deems unsuitable, a definition that is deliberately vague and can be expanded at any time, will have to verify your age. And how will they do that? Facial scans, bank card checks, linking to your driver's license, all the pieces of the digital ID puzzle, all connecting back to a central government-controlled system. The government is using child safety as the Trojan horse. They passed a law banning under-16s from social media, which comes into effect this December. It sounds great. Who doesn't want to protect kids? But the solution they're implementing is a system of total digital surveillance for everyone. To prove you're not a child, you have to prove exactly who you are. Anonymity online, one of the last bastions of free speech, is being systematically destroyed. And the penalties for companies that don't comply are massive, up to $49.5 million. So they will comply. They will become the government's digital deputies, demanding our papers, our face scans, our data. And the plan is to expand this system to the entire private sector by 2026. Soon, you won't be able to do anything online without first proving your identity to the government's satisfaction. So what's the end game here? Why are governments all over the world, from communist Vietnam to the free West, all pushing for the exact same system? It's not about fraud or illegal immigration or even child safety. Those are just the excuses. The real goal is the creation of a cashless society built on a foundation of digital ID and eventually a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. A CBDC is the government's wet dream. It's programmable money that they can control completely. They can track every single transaction you make. They can see what you buy, where you buy it, who you buy it from. And if they don't like what you're doing, they can just turn it off. It's the ultimate tool of social engineering. Imagine a world where your money is linked to your digital ID. You post something on social media that the government doesn't like, your ability to transact is frozen. You attend a protest against government policy, your funds are blocked. You buy too much petrol or meat this month because you're having a family barbecue, your CBDC wallet simply won't let you buy anymore. This isn't a slippery slope fallacy. This is the stated goal. This is the system they are building, piece by piece, right now. Vietnam just showed us how easy it is to flick the switch on 86 million people. The UK is making it a condition of employment, and Australia is building the infrastructure right now, disguised as convenience and safety. They are creating a world where financial freedom is a privilege, not a right. A world where your very existence depends on your absolute, unquestioning compliance. A world where dissent is not just silenced, but financially impossible. This is the fight of our lives. This is the battle for the future of human freedom, and it's happening right now. The question is, will we wake up before it's too late, or will we just keep handing over our freedoms for a little bit of government-approved convenience until we have no freedoms left to give? If you want to stay ahead of the curve, if you want to know what's really going on behind the scenes, then you need to support independent media. You need to support channels like this one. Join our Patreon. Be part of the resistance, because the mainstream media will not save you. They are part of the problem. We are the only ones left who are willing to tell you the truth. The link is in the description. Let's fight this together. To see the latest Australian crisis, click this video here.